okay?
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to talk to you just because, I mean, it's going to be a subdivision, but the plan is to have this so we don't have to be deputized, but we don't step on y'all's toes at the same time.
You want to do captures outside of Bolingbrook?
Yeah, only for escaped inmates. It'll be investigations, and it's trust me, I have jumped through a lot of hoops. I understand that this is going to be kind of a questionable thing. However, I have mappings for it, and it would act as a sub-authority and push for task force.
Here's the thing, Michael. Like, I'd be surprised if this passes. I don't know if you... I think there was a lot of, here's the issue that you're going to run into, right? DOC's not trained to be law enforcement, right? Outside of the prison walls. So as a side effect, when DOC goes to attempt to do apprehensions outside of the walls of Bolingbrook, you risk detaining, interfacing with non-escapees. So how would that work?
I'm still working out these details. The moment I came up with it, the first thing I did, this is all still in the works, but the first thing I did was text you and started trying to talk to justices and read legislation to see where everything fits in. The goal of this isn't to step on people's toes, and it is to have collaboration across the board. There is still some kinks to work out. However, for example, if we weren't deputized, for example, we would not be able to detain individuals that are assisting with the escaped inmate. However, we would be able to detain and apprehend the inmate that escaped after visual confirmation.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm very against this. For the reasons I just mentioned.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I don't see how the public would be in support either, because you'd have a agency untrained in law enforcement patrolling the streets.
So we wouldn't be patrolling. That is not what we would be doing.
Okay, so how would it work then if you're not?
So it would essentially be, we would do investigations. So most stuff would not be handled on the streets. We would do what we can outside of the streets within our own jurisdiction. Once we have confirmation, we would then, let's say it's in Los Santos, right? We would notify the PD and marshals, if they wanted to be, of the whereabouts and the information. All that information would be handed over to state marshals and PD, and then a discussion would be made for a task force for apprehension, where DOC would be able to participate in that apprehension.
You know what? I'd say slap something together. Let's see how it goes. I don't want to be the guy to burst your bubble, but I'd be abundantly shocked if, this even gets considered, because I think there's a lot of things that are kind of getting... There's a bigger problem being missed here, I feel. I mean, I'll tell you, yes. I'll tell you, no, definitively. And listen, I'm not someone that, I'm not gonna blow smoke up your ass, right? And
right.
I think anyone, how do I put this? Has the warden communicated what I told her last time when she wanted to be deputized?
No, I don't think so.
If you're outside the walls of Bolingbrook operating as law enforcement, you are by definition patrolling, right? Any surveillance, any the moment you turn on your lights, the moment you have the authority to be present with another individual, you are definitively patrolling. And I know that that word gets watered down, but that is like the legal definition, right? And so in order to get to the point you're mentioning, which is positively ID someone, you are already at that point have the potential to violate someone else's rights, right? So because you're not God, right?
Right.
You cannot, for any level of certainty, know the individual person, property that you are surveilling is 100% who it is. If you know, that's just, you're not God, right? So as such, the moment you approach any one of those individuals, you cannot in good faith, once again, legal definition, determine whether that individual is who you say they are or think they are until they are apprehended and that final confirmation with a fingerprint has taken place. So
yeah, okay, that part, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't fully thought about. I've mostly been thinking about comparing pictures.
Part.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is what I tried to tell the warden, and then she wasn't very happy. I'm gonna be honest. And I don't want to be a dick here, right? I'm just listen. I'm not the guy that will let someone say they look pretty when they got like broccoli in their teeth. You know, I think that's actually more of an asshole move because the person walks around with damn broccoli in their mouth all day, right? So when you know we had a bunch of escapees, I was approached by the warden, and I very much want you guys to be involved, like genuinely. However, it's got to be through a path that's not gonna fail, right? Because the moment even this thing gets brought up, it's effectively another agency, right, outside the walls of Bolingbrook. But there's alternatives, and what I had proposed is that DOC should effectively go through training, like proper training, and then and only then does it make sense to be unleashing DOC members that are deputized, in other words, under the purview of a full law enforcement agency that has command experience on the field as well, to then operate, right?
Okay, so here's what my thought process was for this. First of all, it would be an exclusive subdivision within DOC and must be certed,
which is good.
And there would be training and interviews to even get certed. That was my thought process on this kind of subdivision. But
yeah,
now
I mean, yeah, sure.
I think
100%.
One of those things would be pursuit training, of course. But still working out the kinks and everything. But at the same time, I also want to say this is an idea right now that I'm only looking to have discussions with. This is not something I have foolproof pushed. This is just an idea.
No, absolutely.
Based off of a real world.
And I'm glad you're sort of taking this feedback and not getting upset or annoyed by it. I'm just trying to give you just how I see it playing out. And I think it makes sense that when there is a need, especially with escape, inmates and such like that, there should be a path which DOC could assist. I mean, if tomorrow, fucking Eastern Front comes and invades, having additional to be able to operate, it would be good. But, it's...
and my other thing is it's not uncommon, it's not uncommon for other state penitentiaries to have a subdivision like this too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's kind of where my ideas are branching from. It's just ironing that out to where, no one's toes get stepped on, which is why these conversations are important.
Yeah, I don't think for me, it's not even a toe stepping thing. Like, I mean, listen, if we have additional trained people, I'm not going to be mad at that. I like LSPD might, right? I wouldn't give a fuck if I brought you guys, right? Because, you know, but, you know, the concern is less about stepping on toes for me than it is the legal issues, right? And
yeah, the training part, that's an easy solve.
That's actually a hard solve. No.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought we had, well, I guess you wouldn't know this, but I know there was talks about potentially DOC joining a PD Academy or something like that at some point.
Those academies, like even we're waiting for our first academy. Like that's the cost for academies is huge. Yeah.
Well, I thought those were a lot more frequent. Okay.
No, you have to I have to like suck dick to get people to put an academy together. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of work. It's
yeah. Okay. Well, then that's
I want listen.
That's just another bottleneck.
I'm not going to stop you from going down this path. Obviously, I just want to share my thoughts. Though I do think there is a more productive way of going about it, which is kind of I'd say keep on keeping on. Work on that subdivision, whatever. But you definitely are going to need something like an academy. I don't know. I think if you do it within the angle of getting training and convincing some set of folks to get you trained, I think that's definitely a first step. The danger that you're going to run into, right, Michael, is I'm how many people are going to just use that as a way to transfer to a law enforcement agency?
I mean,
this isn't a bad thing. I mean,
so here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
People join DOC literally, like over 50% of our hires are doing that, right? Like that is just a common thing that we aren't going to be able to prevent. The best course of action we can do and use that to our advantage
I can't do any gas this morning
to work at DOC and use DOC kind of like a stepping stone. Yeah, you'd see more turnover, but you could potentially see more people coming through the door too.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So that's kind of my outlook on it, because I know it's going to happen regardless.
Yeah. Well, look, if you need a voice to, sound off of, I'm more than available. Just, I hope some of this was kind of enlightening, I guess. Oh
yeah, 100%. And I just wanted to make sure that I'm probably going to make sure that we keep the open line of communication with marshals on this, because I know this is kind of a rocky boat. And of course, while I do want to push DOC, I also don't want to burn bridges.
I don't think there is. Do you think there's a bad relationship between two?
State marshals and DOC, no, but DOC and PD, there's at times some bad bridges there, depending on the officer.
Yeah,
and that's just unfortunate. Not every LSPD officer, BCSO officer is going to respect DOC. It just is what it is.
I think that's more bullshit. I want to see you guys like full on, like own that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think a large part of why I'm doing this too is I want to move away from trying to keep people happy and more about how can we better improve ourselves.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
But I appreciate it. I'm glad I could put it on your radar. And of course, before anything gets pushed, I'm of course going to talk to state marshals, probably you specifically, just so that you are aware of everything. Because before I talked to McAllister and he wasn't fully aware, I guess he didn't tell you.
He's not a full marshal. Sorry.
You're good.
Oh my God, I put too much heat on this thing. No, I would either come directly to me, Ruth, or Springfield.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, that's fine. I will keep you guys updated then. Of course,
right.
this is just an idea. There's a lot of, I know there's some
I'm
legislative
not even going to
things that
bring
I
it up
need
too
to.
much with anyone until it's more like, you know.
Yeah, yeah. One of the things I need to do is even get the DOC's sub-authority defined within actual legislation, because
Yep.
right now it's not. But technically, from what I'm told, we're supposed to be sub-authorities of Blaine County and Los Santos.
What?
So I don't know.
Who told you that? No, you're not.
Justice. So that's why I'm like trying to talk to a justice right now to see where we stand
Wait.
on that front.
No, but brother. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Sometimes
I
I want to like. Ooh.
Yeah, trust me, I know. And apparently, from what I've been told,
Okay.
depending on which justice you talk to, you'll get a different answer.
Yeah,
which is
because
terrible.
well, so here's what I tell law enforcement too: justices are not infallible. They're quite literally just have the job, right? Now, that doesn't mean that their opinion doesn't matter, but sometimes people communicate things and their intention is something different. Sometimes people say things just flippantly without necessarily any references. But let me just ask you something simple. Why would anyone be supposed to be anything unless otherwise stated in legislation?
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's confused because I was trying to figure out why DOC can join in and pursue on prison transports, and work as
in that case you would during the actual transfer, right?
Right, but I don't think that's defined in legislation. A lot of DOC's stuff is word of mouth and not defined in legislation because our legislation is terrible.
The thing is, like, okay, so like in that particular case, you would be operating as a sub-authority while doing the transport, but once you get to Bolingbrook, you are the authority. And the only ones you really can have to answer to is the marshals, right? And that's only at a administrative level, right?
Yeah. But then it's like also because technically, from my understanding, if someone's escaping a work release, we can also pursue that, right? But to do that, we would need to be able to operate as a sub-authority within the jurisdiction of where we're doing that work release, unless we get those sub-authorities under certain circumstances, such as a work release. All of this shit's not defined, and that's what I'm currently trying to do, is get it defined so that I can better. Yeah, that is my goal right now, is to get that defined in legislation.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because that's the stopgap for this current project.
Makes sense. All right, well, Michael, I'm gonna let you go. I gotta get to cooking, just waking up, but
yep, I appreciate you taking the time.
Hey, you are doing God's work, so
I appreciate you.
You take care.
Bye.
I don't want to be like bursting his bubble, right? But this is some kind of similar copium that I told the warden about. Like, I'm not saying don't bring this up, but